If I were moving to San Antonio in 2025, I wouldn't look at some random top 5 neighborhood list and call it a day. The truth is, San Antonio is way too diverse for that. We've got over 90 different neighborhoods and each offer something completely different. So instead of just ranking areas, I wanna show you where I actually would live based on different life situations. I've helped hundreds of families find their perfect home here in San Antonio, and I've noticed very clear patterns in what works for different people. Before we dive in, let me quickly explain how I pick these neighborhoods. I'm not just out here throwing opinions. I've grouped areas by lifestyle rather than ranking them because what works for someone that's looking for more space is totally different than what works for someone that's looking to downsize. I looked at everything from housing prices to school district ratings, the proximity to military bases, and really the overall lifestyle that each area offers. So let's get started with the first category where I personally would move to if I had family and kids. If I had school-age kids and was looking for a well-established neighborhood with strong schools and a good sense of community, I'd seriously consider Stone Oak. It's North San Antonio, just outside Loop 1604, and it's one of those areas that just works well with families. You've got high-performing schools in Northeast ISD, including Reagan High School, which is literally one of the top-rated public schools in the city. Bush Middle School and Stone Oak Elementary also have strong reputations, and really all the nearby schools are well regarded with high academic ratings. With that being said, there are going to be some trade-offs. The housing market in Stone Oak is definitely above the city average, with a median home price of $456,000 in early 2025, and traffic on Loop 1604 during the rush hour can be pretty intense. However, the biggest thing that my clients typically dislike would be the HOA. Stone Oak is one of those more established, older master plan communities, which comes with a huge trade-off. Many of the communities are going to be gated, which does end up bringing a second HOA into the mix. So not only do you have 2 associations maintaining control, you also do have 2 separate fees, which really can add up in some cases. But if I were raising a family, working on the north side, and prioritizing good schools, I'd look closely at a pocket like the preserves at Stone Oak. It's a bit more affordable, slightly less congested, and offers solid value for what you're getting. If I were PCSing to either Randolph or Fort Sam Houston here in San Antonio, the Schertz-Cibolo area would be at the top of my list. I've helped a ton of military families find a home here, and the feedback is almost always the same. It's convenient, family friendly, and has everything you need without being in the middle of the city. It's about 10 to 20 minutes from both Randolph and Fort Sam. With quick access to I-35 and FM 78, the commute is manageable while still giving you more space and better options than you typically find closer to the base. Alongside that, the school district is also very strong. You've got a wide range of neighborhoods from new builds to more established areas. Plus, the military community is strong here. There's a plethora of different support groups, activities, and a bunch of your neighbors will either be active duty or veterans. There's a USO Center at Fort Sam and military-specific services at Randolph, and being close without being too close makes a huge difference. And honestly, with great location and short commute times to both San Antonio and New Braunfels, this makes it super convenient to plan fun outings on your days off. But if I was looking for a place where lifestyle comes built in, New Braunfels would 100% be my pick. This is one of those towns where recreation opportunities are everywhere. You've got the Guadalupe and Kamal rivers for floating down in the summer, a ton of different festivals like Works Fest, and a community that still feels connected even though it's growing so fast. You can spend the weekends walking around Landa Park, catch live music at Green Hall, which by the way is the oldest dance hall in all of Texas, or grab a burger at Muck and Fuss. There's literally always something to do. New Braunfels is about 30 minutes northeast of San Antonio, and it's absolutely exploded over the past few years. The schools here are excellent, the neighborhoods are varied, and there's a lot of new construction happening, especially in places like Baramendi, which has absolutely amazing amenities and even has a 55 and older section. The median sales price here in New Braunfels is in the mid 300,000s, and with mortgage rates stabilizing, it's turning into much more of a balanced market. So if I was looking for an awesome lifestyle, enjoy community events, and still be able to commute to either San Antonio or Austin, I'd definitely focus my search here. Matter of fact, I'm actually looking at moving to New Braunfels within the next year, so I'm pretty excited about that. Now, if I were in a completely different stage of life, let's say I was retiring or just looking for a slower pace with more room to breathe, I'd probably lean towards Castroville. It's about 20 to 30 minutes west of downtown San Antonio, and it's got this quiet small town charm that's hard to find in most of the suburbs. The lot sizes are generous, often half acre or more, and the homes are way more affordable compared to places like New Braunfels or Boerne. Another huge bonus is that it's not overbuilt or overcrowded. You can actually find a home on a half acre or more with space for the garden, maybe chickens, or even a workshop if you wanted. And the new construction on the eastern edge makes it easier to get into something turnkey while still having that small town feel. The city has a rich Alsatian history, and you really feel that sense of history when you're going around town. Of course, you're gonna be giving up things to do. There's not a ton of nightlife or high-end shopping, and the commute into town is longer, but for someone looking for peace, space, and a more more laid-back lifestyle, Castroville is pretty hard to beat. Right now, the median home price in Castroville is just under $500,000, with most homes sitting on the market for over 3 months. That gives you so much really good negotiating power. If I were looking for a good mix of charm, walkability, and proximity to downtown, I'd definitely be looking at Alamo Heights. It's just north of downtown, inside Loop 410, and it's one of the most established areas in the city. If you want mature trees, historic homes, and a neighborhood that does not feel cookie cutter, this is it. The school district Alamo Heights is also one of the top in the region, and it's close to places like the Quarry and Central Markets. What makes Alamo Heights stand out so much to me isn't just the location, it's the character. The homes in here are so unique. Like I mentioned, not cookie cutter at all. You've got Tudor style cottages, mid-century moderns, and craftsman style bungalows, all on streets where people actually know their neighbors. But I'll be honest, it's not cheap. The median home price in the area is $730,000, and you're paying a premium not just for the schools, but for the central location and the historic charm. Something else to consider is some homes in the area do have soil movement issues, so a strong inspection is a must. There's also occasional airport noise depending exactly where you are. But overall, if I valued walkability, character, and being close to all the action, Alamo Heights would be a top contender, especially east of Broadway, where you can find some better value and bigger lots. And if I were after top tier schools in a genuine small town feel, Boerne would be very hard to beat. It's right on the foot of the Texas Hill Country, and the views alone make it worth the drive. It's one of those places where you can go for a hike in the morning, grab lunch downtown at a locally owned cafe, and be back home in time for the backyard barbecue. It's about 30 minutes northwest of San Antonio off I-10, and it's one of those places that just feels special. Boerne has been growing steadily, but they've done a great job managing the growth while still keeping that charm intact. The biggest trade-off is prices keep going up and the inventory is so tight. The median home price is around $572,000, and homes are sitting for an average of 96 days. This giving buyers so much more negotiating power, with homes closing below asking. If I were moving to Boerne, I'd look at neighborhoods like Esperanza for newer construction with great amenities, or Cordillera Ranch if I were after the ultra luxury, golf, or even equestrian space. So if I were moving to San Antonio in 2025, my decision would really depend on my personal situation. If I had a family, needed good schools, and wanted a well-established community, I'd head to Stone Oak. If I were looking for space, affordability, and a more relaxed pace, Castroville would be my pick. If I wanted to stay close to downtown, enjoy walkability and character, Alamo Heights would make a lot of sense. If lifestyle and recreation were my top priorities, New Braunfels would be hard to beat. And if I wanted to blend small town feel with high quality schools, I'd be seriously looking at Boerne. At the end of the day, there's no one size fits all when it comes to moving to San Antonio. But if you know what matters most to you, the right neighborhood starts to become very clear. With that being said, if you're planning on making a move to the greater San Antonio area, I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. As a San Antonio native, I know the area is inside and out. You can shoot me an email at info@starksproperties.com, or you can go down in the description and see all my contact information. Please don't hesitate to reach out so I can be a resource for you and your family. If you're still unsure on exactly where you want to live, then you need to watch this next video. After living in San Antonio all of my life, I decided to finally rank the suburbs from worst to best. So if you want to make the right decision, then click here to find out what made the list. And I'll see you on the next video.